This video is going to be really hard to film because of two reasons. One, I'm sick, so excuse my voice. Two, best plot twists without giving spoilers. Let's give it a try. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie, and today I'm talking about thrillers, but specifically thrillers who I think had some of the best plot twists. If you know me and you watch my channel, I read a lot of thrillers. It's one of my favorite genres. I feel like it's my go-to. And I have read a lot of thrillers with some interesting plot twists, but I do have a list of 10 thrillers that I'd like to talk about who I think have the best plot twists, and these are the ones that I always recommend people who are looking for a good twist on a thriller. All right, I have them all written down in my cute new like book journal that I made. I bought this journal off Michael's and I put a bunch of stickers on it. So this is like my YouTube book journal that I am currently using. So yeah, I have a list of some thrillers I'd like to talk about, so let's jump into it. All right, let's talk about the first book on the list, which I think this one should be the first one mentioned because of my reaction to it. Literally reading this book, and when the plot twist happened, I literally had to shut the book and just think and process for about 20-ish minutes of like, what did I just read? I was like so confused. I had to literally like think back to the very beginning of everything, and that book is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I know a lot of people love this book, and I know there are some out there who hated this book. I am in the majority of those who love the book. This one is so good, and it doesn't seem like something I would like, but I loved this book. This one is about Theo, who is a criminal psychotherapist, and he is getting this new job where this woman, I think her name is Alicia, and basically at random with like no motive, she shot her husband in the face and has not spoken a word since then. And so he goes into this new job thinking he's going to eventually make her speak and figure out exactly what happened. But this book had so many different layers, and literally my jaw dropped. So I recommend. Okay, another book that is probably no surprise and has been very much talked about for quite some time is No Exit by Taylor Adams. I love this book. This book is so good because it is fast-paced from the very beginning. Like, when I tell you my heart was like pumping and my jaw was on the floor, this one is so good. It's got that isolated setting, like stuck in like a rest stop where you don't know who you can trust. And this one had so many twists and turns that my head could not stay on. This one follows a college student named Darby, I believe is her name, and she is trying to get back to her hometown from college because her mother is ill, and basically there's this huge snowstorm where she has no choice but to go to this rest stop, and there's a few other people there, and things kind of get crazy from there. So I highly recommend you check this one out. And for those who would probably be asking, yes, I enjoyed the movie. The next one on the list is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I know this one has a few mixed feelings. I personally loved this one. This one literally will have you guessing until the very end. And I loved this whole like moral dilemma that this one had in a way. Not really sure if that's the correct word. This one follows a woman who is married to this struggling writer, and she is a very successful law attorney. And one day she gets a call saying that her husband has been arrested for the murder of his mistress. And what does she do? She decides to defend her husband. Crazy, I know, but this one has so many different elements. I wasn't trusting anyone. I wasn't trusting the wife. I wasn't trusting the husband. I wasn't trusting anyone in between. I was like, what is happening? And I feel like this one had one of the best endings. Okay, so this one is a little bit slightly dabbed into like the horror section, but it's still much more of a thriller in my opinion. But it is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. The reason why I wanted to bring this one into the mix is this one is about a woman who, I think she was like 5, maybe 6 years old, and her family moved into this house, and they only stayed in there like less than a month, and then they escaped the house and vowed to never go back. Now present day, our main character, her father passed away and left her the house that was supposedly haunted. Also, her dad wrote a book. I forgot the name of the title of the book, but her dad wrote a book about their time in the house. And so you get chapters of the book that he wrote, and you get chapters of our main character's point of view going back to the house, potentially to sell it. And this one made me flip-flop so much. I was like, the house is haunted. The house is not haunted. The house is haunted. The house is not haunted. And when you finally realize what's happening or happened. Moving on, this one is one I haven't mentioned in quite some time, but it's still one of my favorites, and it is For Better and Worse by Margot Hunt. And this one again has that moral dilemma, because this is about a woman who, she's married, she has a son, and something happens where the principal of her son's, elementary school gets arrested for allegations against him to potentially like having inappropriate interactions with some of the children at the school. And she learns that her son may have been one of them. It's like, what do you do? And like, what would you do as a parent, and like, or just in general? But the wife slash mother wants to murder the principal. And what's funny is the very first chapter is her and her husband going on a date, and they're both like attorneys, and they kind of jokingly say that they could both get away with a perfect murder. This one had such good twists and turns while also having that moral gray dilemma, but also the very last chapter, chef's kiss. All right, I know I'm going to get a little bit of hate for this one, but I don't care. It's still one of my favorites. And I feel like if you haven't read it, you just need to read it to see what the fuss is about. Verity by Colleen Hoover. That last chapter though, like, come on. That last chapter, mind-blowing. I personally love it. It's one of those books where I kind of reference this book for other books, or like I'm looking for other books that are very similar to this one. So if you have any suggestions, drop them down below. This one is about Lowen, who is kind of a struggling writer. She gets this opportunity to write, like kind of ghostwrite for Verity, who was in a hospital and now can't finish her big, huge, popular series. So she kind of like moves in with Verity and her family. She's got a husband, a kid, and she finds an unpublished manuscript about Verity's life. And this one is so good. Keisha, if you're watching this, Keisha knows. So yes, I love this one. Okay, so this one I'm a little nervous to talk about because I gave this one 3 stars, but I think after I get done filming this one, I think I'm going to bump it up to 4 stars. And I've mentioned this one quite a bit this year, but the element of surprise in this one was just so good, and I was nervous because it's something I usually don't like in thrillers, but I feel like it was done so well, and I have not read anything else with this in the book. But it is The House in the Pines by Anya Reyes. Me and my friend Gwen actually did a whole reading vlog where we edited each other's reading vlogs, and this one was so good. I think we both rated this one 3 stars, but again, I keep thinking about this one like all year, and I think I'm gonna bump it up to a 4-star. This one is about a woman who, in present timeline, she is kind of like a struggling like addict because she takes prescription pills because of some trauma that happened when she was a teenager. And what happened was her best friend kind of dropped dead in front of her and this guy that she was kind of dating, and no one knows exactly what happened. In present timeline, she finds the guy like on a viral video, and something happens to another woman where she just drops dead. So now she has to go back to her hometown, figure out what happened, and y'all, this one was so good. So good that I want to raise it up another star. I bet y'all did not see this one on the list. I personally gave it a 1 star. However, I know people love this one, but I wanted to put it on the list because the plot twist is something I never saw coming. So I feel like this one is worth mentioning, even though it does have something I do not like in thrillers, but I know some people do. And again, this one definitely took me by surprise. It's The House Across the Lake, again by Riley Sager. This one kind of has that like the woman in the window type of trope where we see this woman who's kind of a, not even kind of, she's an alcoholic, and she sees this house across the lake, and she kind of sees something happened, and then the woman over there kind of goes missing, and so it's kind of like, what really happened? So I really liked the present timeline versus what happened like, I don't know, like a few days or maybe weeks ago. And I will say the plot twist is good, that I didn't see it coming. However, it is not my favorite plot twist, but I feel like I am very picky when it comes to like this sort of type of plot twist. So I feel like the general public might like this one a lot more. So the next one is definitely one that you can totally binge in one sitting because it is Kirsten Modulant's Don't Go Down There. This one had such a good plot twist at the end that I did not see coming, and I literally read this book in one sitting. I hosted some reading sprints on my channel, which I always do on Monday nights, and I literally read this book from start to finish, and I was like, oh my gosh. It's very short. I think the Kindle edition says it's like 160 some pages, and I think the print version is like 210. So it's very bingeable and a quick read, but it is so good. This one is about a woman who comes home and her husband has done something bad, and whatever he did is in the basement, and they're kind of like stuck in this sticky situation together. And yeah, this one is so good. You get points of views of the husband and the wife, and what really is going on was very shocking, and I loved this one. I need to go buy my own print copy so I can have it for my bookshelf, but yeah, definitely good. I love a good bingeable fast pace, and then you add that with a really good plot twist at the end. Yeah, I gave this one 5 stars. And then the last one on this list is one I have not talked about or read in quite some time, but it is Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. First, when I read this one, I wasn't really getting the whole like timeline. I felt like it was a very mix match, like, I don't know. But once you get past the first like 25%, it is so good. It's about a woman named Geo who basically goes to jail because she was accused and tried and charged for being an accomplice to her best friend's murder, because her high school boyfriend was actually a serial killer, and so she actually gets arrested because she knew stuff and didn't speak the truth, supposedly. And now it follows that, but also follows her getting out of jail. You get a little bit of the like Orange is the New Black vibes, but I feel like the twist at the end is something I had never imagined, and I felt like it was kind of original. So I really love this one. I feel like if you have not read Jennifer Hillier, this is her best one yet. Pick it up. Alright guys, those are the 10 best plot twists that I want to talk about. Make sure to leave a comment down below letting me know what your favorite plot twist book was. Don't spoil, but I would love to know if there's any other ones I need to add to my list. And if you've made it this far, let's put the mic like the microphone emoji, like a mic drop, because that's kind of like a plot twist in a way. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really does help and support my channel, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling.